This is a video about types of stories. Stories can be grouped into different types or genres based on where and when the story takes place, what happens, and who the characters are. Some of the most popular story types are science fiction, mystery, horror, fantasy, action-adventure, historical fiction, realistic fiction, folktale, and fable. Many stories are actually a combination of two or more genres. For example, a story that takes place in a South American jungle is both an adventure story and realistic fiction. Another story about aliens attacking a space colony is both science fiction and a horror story. The genre action-adventure is when the story is driven by an action-based plot or a struggle to survive. The characters often come into conflict with nature or a dangerous enemy. The genre fantasy is set in non-existent worlds with strange or otherworldly characters, often about a quest or the forces of good and evil. The genre folktale includes legends, myths, fairy tales, and fables. They are stories that were told orally from generation to generation. They can be retold or rewritten in a modern setting. Legends are usually about heroes and great events. Myths are usually about superhuman beings. Both may explain the beliefs of a people or events that happen in the natural world. Fairy tales are about fairies and other magical creatures. They often begin, "Once upon a time." Fables are stories that teach a lesson or moral. They often use animals with human characteristics as characters. Think Aesop's fables like the ant and the grasshopper. In the genre historical fiction, characters and plot are set in an earlier time period. Characters can be imaginary or based on real people. The horror genre, yay Stephen King, is suspense-filled and often frightening. It involves creepy people or strange creatures. The genre of mystery is when the plot involves a crime or other event that remains unknown until the very end. Clues are presented along the way which help the reader get closer to the answer. In the genre of realistic fiction, the settings and characters appear true to life and the plot could actually happen. Finally, the genre of science fiction is often based on the impact of actual, potential, or imaginary science, and are usually set in the future or on other planets. Despite the futuristic setting, the characters often have to face the same kinds of issues and problems as they would today. Of course, there are many more types of fiction, and many stories include elements of several genres.